we begin on this fine, fresh moon coming our way, for we know that new moon has its own meaning and connotation, and we truly mean to give you the opposite sort of message. Now, on this upcoming moon, we have what we call the Hunter's Moon. And as Drea has done most of the work to realize that she is in the process of hunting for aspects of herself, there have been many ways that we have been waiting to connect with you on a whole new level. Now, hunting for oneself, what does that even tend to mean? When you already have who you are in full access of your being. You have to know that who you are is never meant to change who you will become. Who you will become is written in stone, in one way or another. However, we do know that free will is of the utmost importance to this human experience. And we wish to let you know that while free will has a way of, organizing your life path in new and meaningful ways, we do know that you come here with a plan. And while your plan has unfolded over time through the eons, so to speak, as it has not taken only one lifetime for you to get to this point, nor has it only taken you through the past, but you have also seen glimpses of the future, whether you believe it or not. This lifetime has been work put in from many angles, all throughout history, all throughout the present, all throughout the future. And while it has all culminated to this moment, you have had the chance to take many different kinds of steps instead. But you found yourself here. And we welcome you to this new stage of development. For as you choose to continue developing along your path of getting to know who you truly are, you will find out that there have been many ways to see it through many different eyes. There are the eyes of your brothers and sisters, in blood and in otherwise. There are the eyes of your teachers. There are the eyes of your students, even though you do not believe you may have as many as you think you do. But there are always eyes watching you, and those eyes help to shape who you truly become. Because imagine that you were doing things without anyone watching. Wouldn't that be a whole new level of experience than wondering whether or not you're under the scrutiny of others? Scrutiny. Yes, scrutiny is a gift in many ways. While it harbors an energy, a connotation that feels detrimental to one's own energy, scrutiny is actually a gift. It is a means to take back what is really yours, and that is truly your potential. Your potential. Yes, your potential. Scrutiny depicts you for something who you are truly not. While we do understand that scrutiny is a means of, quote, criticism, why don't we think of it as something that can be more constructive, such as defining ways for you to become who you truly are meant to be. Imagine you have a teacher. Imagine you have a teacher who has gone through the ways of knowing who you truly are by what you have done. While what you have done has no meaning to who you will become, let's think of it as, let's say, a box. A box surrounding you with the infinite possibility of, quote, staying trapped. If you stay trapped within this box of scrutiny, for example, letting others pinpoint you into who you truly are instead of you fully stepping and embracing who you truly are. Wouldn't that be a limiting factor to who you will become? Now, we tell you that the pieces of who you are truly inside of you. And at all times, you do have access to who you wish to be. And while many things are preordained, such as, quote, you will die one day. And that is okay, because death comes for all of us in many ways. Nothing can remain forever. We repeat, nothing can remain forever. And this even applies to the self-limiting boxes of scrutiny that many of you have even placed yourselves in. Scrutiny disempowers you from who you truly are meant to be. While you have each and every component of who you are meant to be inside of you, think of it as, say, an unassembled puzzle sitting inside of a box. When you think of this puzzle unassembled inside of a box, being you as a whole, imagine how you may have different shoppers pass by and telling you that you're too difficult to piece together, that they'll never be able to understand who you are, that this picture is too complicated, that the pieces are too small or too vast, even too large. Who could have known that one puzzle could have so many problems, according to who's looking at it? You will not be for everybody, and that is okay, but the point is to remain that the picture of who you are meant to be is unchanged. The picture of who you are meant to be is unchanged. Now, when we talk about free will versus destiny, we understand that destiny is indeed preordained. And while free will seems to oftentimes go in an opposite direction from what is suggested with destiny, imagine free will being the choice to even begin putting the puzzle together, while destiny is simply what that puzzle will result as once it is complete. We do understand that many of you believe that destiny is the only coin to flip, while many others believe that free will may be the only coin to flip. But let's imagine that they are two sides of one coin. Let's imagine that they are two sides of one coin, and the coin is in the air more often than you realize. Imagine that the coin is actually in the air more often than you realize, to the extent that it may never come down and land. But its speed, while it flips through the air, is always alternating, fluctuating which end of the coin is in charge. Are you allowing your free will to take control of your path, or are you allowing destiny to unfold? While both are absolutely necessary to the process, which is why we tend to think of the flip as being infinite. Because as soon as the coin stops and lands, that removes the potential for change. So let's keep the coin in the air and imagine that who you are meant to be is that full puzzle piece. And while free will remains being the option to assemble the puzzle in the first place, you have to understand that each piece of you is there. It's there and it's waiting for you to put it together. It will always be there waiting for you to put it together until you decide that you don't need a certain piece anymore. Until you decide that you don't need this picture anymore, so to speak. And when you decide you don't need that picture anymore, that's when things begin to, we hear the phrase, go awry. This is when things begin to go awry. Because, as we've said, you do come here with a plan. If the plan is only to enjoy the experience, that is a plan. If the plan is to enjoy the experience of others, that is a plan. If the plan is simply to find comfort in the midst of a new world, that is a plan. If the plan is to become the soul who you are meant to be on the best level of capacity that you can manage, that is a plan. If your plan, like so many others who you may not know are doing this with you, if your plan is to come to make this world a better place than when you left it, that is a plan. And each time you collect a new piece of who you are along the journey, each time you grab one puzzle piece and slide it closer to position, every time you are getting closer to who you were meant to be by the time this incarnation is complete. And that is the beautiful mix of destiny and free will, is that you have a choice to follow the plan that you were instilled with at the moment of your birth, or even before the moment of your birth. For we all know that the ones who are listening to this are the ones who know that they are infinite. So if you come here and slide even one puzzle piece closer to where it belongs, then you have fulfilled part of your mission. And do not be alarmed if you can't find all those pieces at one time, because those pieces are meant for you to enjoy the journey. What if buying a puzzle was only a goal to get it completed? Wouldn't you find looking for the pieces to be, quote, a heck of a hard time? Wouldn't you find it difficult to simply stick it through? Because say this is a 5,000 piece puzzle that you're hunting for each piece with only the mission to put it together. What about the fun? What about the enjoyment that you have to even sit and manage a certain task such as this? It has to be fun. You can't turn it into work and work alone. It's not meant to be work and work alone. For puzzles are meant for those who enjoy them, who enjoy the process, not only enjoy the picture. If you want a picture, buy a photo. If you want a picture, buy a painting. You're not putting the puzzle piece together for the picture. You're putting the puzzle piece together for the experience of getting to put it together. So be aware that what you're doing is about more than just, quote, becoming who you are meant to be. But you have to also enjoy the journey. For the journey is what keeps us going when we feel enthusiastic about who we are becoming. And when we feel enthusiastic about finding each little piece that belongs together, we begin to understand why we're really doing this over and over and over. For you have not only been here one time, my friend, and we do understand that you know, to a certain capacity, that you have been here more times than many can count. Maybe you can, depending on just how many times you've been here. But we have lost count of this body's incarnation. We have lost count of the number of incarnations of this soul. That is if we have lost count, for we've given Drea a number before. But let's continue on learning about this experience of the puzzle and see that it's not just about destiny or free will individually. While they do coexist together in a way that dedicates itself to maintaining our balance with the life that we live, it is all up to us as to when we decide to do what. Now, take this seed as an example. We do understand that Drea does not know what is coming next, but we need to drop this seed for you all so that we can continue moving on forward in this conversation. An idea planted in the ground, taking root, deciding which soil is going to be the proper environment, deciding which level of rainfall is going to be the proper nourishment. All of this is very important. While a seed has the option, a seed, yes, does have the option to take root or not. Its environment is very important to the process as well. Take your seed. We'll say your truth. Take your truth and put it around you in ways that you can see the feedback. What do we mean by this? Take your truth and sprinkle it in different environments and see what comes back to you fully and wholeheartedly as resonating with your truth. As in, this is a matter of simply, quote, finding your crowd. Drea is getting overwhelmed and lacking presence right now, and we need to ask her to return back to the present moment. The point of this metaphor is simply seeing where your ideas flourish. Where is your truth meant to flourish? For this will also have a big impact on who you, quote, eventually become. If you're trying to grow a cactus somewhere like the Antarctic, that truth does not align with that environment. If you're trying to grow seaweed in the desert, that truth does not align with that environment. While there are many truths that one can choose from, that one can choose to embrace, which is why we have so many systems on the other side set for each and every one of you, you will realize that there are others that share your viewpoints. You just have to find them in a way that speaks true to you and who you truly are. For as we said, trying to grow a certain type of cactus in the Antarctic is not going to work, but the cactus has a right to grow. You just have to find the right environment. Now, a box is an environment where none of us will be able to grow comfortably for long. For like we said, nothing is meant to last forever. Specifically in this physical realm, nothing is meant to last forever. There will always be a constant state of change. While some may take this message and interpret it as all things die, that is one truth. Sure, and that truth has its environment where it will flourish. But know one thing, that you, quote, will never die. You will never die in the sense that your energy lives on forever and ever. Your energy lives on separate from your body, even at night when you sleep. Your energy is meant to go wherever, whenever it chooses. Although you need your tether here if you would like to stay in the physical in this lifetime. But once that tether is loose, once that tether is broken, this is a better word. Once that tether is broken, you are meant to fly wherever you so choose. And that is up to you to decide where you will go. And chances are you will resonate to specific truths on the other side. And that's okay. For those truths will come to you and with you as you progress through life. The question is, what will be true for you? What will be true for you? Is it true that you're predestined to go somewhere and burn through all eternity? If that is your truth, that is what you will do when the time comes. Is it your truth that you will be free and light from a burden that you have carried for your whole physical life when that time comes? That will be a truth for you. And you will probably be with others who believe in these specific truths. While the lens is different for everyone, for no two people carry the same sets of eyes, you will understand that where one's energy wants to go, where one's energy feels like it fits, it will go. And this also applies to the puzzle analogy. If you feel like you're not meant to put that puzzle together, then you won't. But let's say you do. Wouldn't it be a grand imagery to see the landscape or the love or the mystical image that you're able to put together if you just try to seek fun in the journey every time you come across another piece and say, oh, These work together. Let me put them side by side to see what it looks like. Oh, and this might go over here. Oh my goodness, look at that, a corner piece. Aren't those the fun ones? The corners and the edges, the ones that give you the framework for who you're meant to be. Yes, the cornerstones of your personality in this lifetime. You will understand one day that you're made of many lifetimes at once. And while this may not be the time for us to give that message through you, Drea, we do understand that many others will need to see that they are more than just this one body and this one mentality. For even this one mentality has so many subfaces that you can't even begin to count them. Imagine each of those as personalities that are waiting to be acknowledged and waiting to be appreciated and waiting to be acquired with confidence and not rejection, not the thought concept of pushing away parts that we feel like don't belong to us. For they do. They are you. Every piece of the puzzle is you. And do not forget that. While we're hearing Drea think of an analogy of a puzzle piece falling into a box that came from a different puzzle. Well, that's a nice analogy. While the picture may not be the same, can you imagine, statistically speaking, that another puzzle piece does match size and shape-wise as one that belongs in one's own box? Yes, this is possible. It could fit to the T. It could fit into the core of your puzzle while still carrying a different picture. And that's where the beauty of the mosaic comes into play. Because these different pieces, while they can't help shape us into, quote, our destiny, let's not forget that free will is definitely still an option. It's just a matter of what you decide to play with. Consider it to be play. Consider it to be fun. Consider it to be an enabling experience for you to enjoy your life to the maximum capacity. And while we wait to see what else we need to do in this meantime, we will allow Drea to compose herself. For it is getting lengthy in her mind, considering that this is our first time using this medium. So, be well. Be grateful for the picture that you've come here to put together, because you will one day see just how many pieces you're meant to be made of. And it's a lot, we will tell you. You're not just one. You're one of many. And the many of you within you will want you to know that they are one of many too. Be well, young ones, for we love you very much. And we will speak to you again soon.